What's going on, Warriors, and welcome to another video from the Warrior Collective. Hopefully you guys have all been checking out our podcast. We have been having a lot of fun with that. It is not like our videos, which are, more or less structured in some way. Podcasts are very much Metal and I being just ourselves and ranting about random things. We go off on a lot of different directions. So if you guys haven't checked out the podcast, please do so. Links in the description or on the YouTube channel page. Our podcast is currently on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If there's somewhere else you want to see the podcast, let me know and I'll see if I can set it up. And don't forget to check out our other places like Facebook and Twitter, and we also have a Telegram channel as well. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the video. So today I want to talk about something that I don't see a lot of people talk about, surprisingly. To me, it kind of seems really important, and that is going to be on knowing the routes to the places you go. If you have, if it's not just you, you have a spouse or you have kids, knowing where everybody is at a given moment or where they should be at a given moment and how they get to those places and back from those places is really important to know in the event of a disaster. And it's really something that, my wife and I practice now that we've done for several years. I know she knows when I'm leaving work. She knows when I get to work. I know when she's leaving work. I know when she gets to work. My kids do their best. They're kids. They don't always remember, but they try and let us know when they get to school safely. Now, to some people, this sounds like overbearing, controlling, or, stalkish. I don't care. They're my family members. It's my responsibility to protect them and, to know if I need to help them and to know where they are. It's just a family thing. It's, now, there's obviously extremes of that where it could be considered, overbearing and controlling, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about just, letting each other know, like, hey, I got to work okay. I love you. I'll talk to you later. Those types of things. Or, hey, I'm on my way home. I should be home in about 30 minutes. That way they know if, you're not home in an hour, they're calling you. And if you're the person that said you'd be home in 30 minutes and you're not home, make sure you text your family, let them know, because it tends to freak out, especially your wives. It really freaks them out. So, back to my point, because I am now going off on my own little tangent. Knowing the routes of the places you go. I know to get to my office, I know about 6 different ways, and I know how 6 different ways coming back, obviously. Knowing those different routes will help you in the event of a disaster, because let's be realistic for a moment. Reality is that when a disaster or a collapse happens, there is a very good chance that some of us, if not a lot of us, it's not going to happen when we're in the comfort of our own home, surrounded by all of our emergency supplies. Reality is it's going to hit when we are out at the store, or we're at the office, or we are with family or on vacation. Whatever the case may be, reality is it's not going to happen for a lot of us from the comfort of our own home. We're going to be somewhere else. So, knowing when you're going to those places, having different routes mapped out, like we have a vacation coming up, and I have different routes planned for how to get home in the event of a disaster. Knowing how to do that is so, so important, because a road could be closed. There could be people, it could be chaos in the street. There could be people, looting stores or rampaging somewhere. It just, let your mind run wild with the different scenarios. Knowing how those different ways to get home is good to know because of those situations. Another reason is, say, we're going to use an example here. Say I'm at home and my wife is at work. Disaster strikes. She can't, I haven't heard from her. I don't know where she is. And phones aren't working. We've gone through your PACE plan of all your communication methods, and you can't get a hold of them. What is your option at that point? Well, if you need to go out and look for them, you need to know which routes they would have taken. Right? So, you not just knowing your routes is, let me reword that. You shouldn't just know your own routes. You should know your family's routes, and they should know your routes. This should be a group effort in your family to all know who's going where and how they get there, and what are the different options, and what is their pace plan for their travel, right? You should have your primary method to getting from point A to point B, your secondary, your third, and your fourth options, fifth, sixth, whatever. And then your family should know what's the order that you would take those options. Now, it's not going to work in every situation, because they may have gotten halfway through an option and realized they had to revert to option B, which may have been a different route, right? So just knowing the routes, though, you should be able to have a general idea of how they're getting from point A to point B. So to sum this video up into, a short phrase, is to have routes for everywhere you go. Whether you're going on vacation, you're going to family, you're going to work, doesn't matter what it is. Have a plan of what each route or method you would take to get to that place or back from that place. So that way you have a plan in the event of a disaster, or if you need to go find someone, you know the routes they would have taken, and it's easier to track them at that point if that does happen. All right? So take that. Go study, go learn, go train, go grow. Right? That's what we talk about on this channel. So go do those things. Go learn, go make plans with your family on how you travel and what routes you take. So that way, in the event of a situation, you are as best prepared as you can be. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Remember to go learn, train, and grow. And we'll catch you next time on the Warrior Collective, all right?